So this is how I only study 2 hours every single day. I'm not failing, my grades are good, I pass exams, but that's honestly not my goal. That's not why I study 2 hours. If I liked studying, I would spend all my day studying. I'll be that guy in the library who stays up till 12 a.m. just studying for 12 hours a day. But that's just not me. I like spending my time on YouTube, for example. I use every single waking minute that I have just making videos and editing videos and recording videos. And I couldn't do that. I wouldn't be in that privileged position if I was spending 6 hours studying. That's why I like to spend 2 hours, 3 hours maximum studying and still achieve good grades. And I'm gonna teach you exactly how. These are the top 5 tips that I have when it comes to using your time efficiently as a student. If that's because you just want more free time, or if you want more time for sports, more time for your creative outlet, your art, or if you just want more free time, it's all good, you know? So it's actually not hard, it goes like this. So I'm gonna start with number 1, do not study at home. People are gonna tell you study at home, make your work environment good. But you wanna know the honest truth, the most unproductive place for studying is probably gonna be your room, because that's where you do everything else. I mean, personally, I'm able to focus on YouTube videos and everything else perfectly fine in my room. But when it comes to studying, I just find it tough, and there's just so many distractions when you're studying in your room. You're studying and then all of a sudden you open a tab and it's YouTube and you just watch a video randomly, or you go on your phone, you pick your phone up, Snapchat, Instagram, and you just get distracted so easily. So number 1, pick a library, find some place outside your home. This could be a cafe, and go and study there. You probably have a local library for your university, which is where I go to study sometimes, or you go study with your friends, that's fine. There's a huge difference when you're actually sitting down in a place that's made to study. Let's say you're sitting down in a library and it's so quiet and everyone's studying. The entire mood and the entire environment is set to study. So you're probably going to be able to study way better. For me, it was night and day. When I used to study in my room, I would spend 6 hours studying the same that I now spend 2 hours studying. And I just saved myself so much time. If I don't do this, I'm not going to be able to upload videos weekly, multiple times a week. I'm not going to be able to focus on my content, focusing on making videos, making products, and just the things that I like to do in general. I wouldn't be able to go to jiu-jitsu twice a week. I wouldn't be able to go to the gym, to go outside, to wake up and just chill. That's the thing. You have to use your time wisely. So that is number 1. Number 2 is your phone. So the number 1 biggest distraction, you can apply this to studying, you can apply this to anything else, it's your phone. Your phone right here distracts you the most. Let me put it like this. You need 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes to snap into the flow state. When you're sitting down and you're focusing on your work, 15 minutes of absolutely uninterrupted work to begin to enter the flow state. Not even to enter the flow state, to begin. To have the chance to enter the flow state. And if you've been in the flow state before, you know how good it is. You know how good it feels. You know how much good work you get done. It's just the most productive time. So let's say I was sitting here at my desk studying right now, and my phone is right in front of me to the side like this, right? So let's say my phone is over here somewhere, right? I'm studying, I'm doing my work, and then all of a sudden I get a notification. My phone starts vibrating. Then I go and reach my phone and I just open the notification and I see what it is. And I spend 2-3 minutes on it, and then I put it back and I start working again. And then another 10 minutes later I get a notification, it starts buzzing. And now I open my phone again and now I'm distracted, and I keep snapping myself out of the flow state. And that is disrupting your dopamine, that's disrupting your attention. I spend 2 hours studying because I know that my time is valuable. I know I could be using all my time to free myself in the future. There are so many high value skills that if you learn these skills, you'll be set up for life in the future. So I'm here to save your time just as I want to save my own time. I don't want to spend 7 hours, 8 hours studying what I could study in 3 hours. So here are 2 life hacks. This is airplane mode. This is a savior. This is the productivity life hack. Once you put airplane mode on your phone, you're not going to get any notifications. Somebody calls you, it's not even going to go through. So airplane mode is a huge life hack. Number 2, if you don't want airplane mode, you can just click here, do not disturb. It's the same, it's just as effective. You don't get notifications. And another thing, you can put your phone in another room. You could put it away from you. Leave it in your bag, in your school bag. Most important thing, don't leave it right in front of you, and don't let it just ring all the time. It's just gonna snap you out of your focus. Even if you're disciplined, even if you have this focus, it's still gonna disrupt you. So number 3, doing past papers. I don't know how it is with your college or with your university or how you study, but professors at university are not gonna make different exams every single year. Most of the exam is based on the previous exams, and that's why we have past papers. So think about this. If you had a model exam with mostly the same questions that are gonna come in your exam that you're gonna write, and when the only thing that matters is the actual exam, and just the fact that you pass and you do well on your exam, nothing else, because you just forget anything anyways. Like whatever you learn, it's not gonna help you, because number 1, if you get a job, you're gonna learn everything you need to know in the job. Number 2, you forget everything that you study after the exam. The moment you write the exam and you finish, you just forget absolutely everything that you studied, so it doesn't matter. What matters is that you just pass the exam. So the number 1 best way I found to do this, you know why pilots train simulation? Because it's so effective. It is the second best way to do what they actually do without being there. So yes, you can do past papers and you can practice past papers, and that is the best way to go. It teaches you the questions that are literally gonna come in the exam. It's gonna be the same structure. You're gonna know how to manage your time. You're gonna have a good representation of what's gonna come on the exam, and that is very, very important. So past papers are the number number one most important resource ever. The second most important resource is YouTube. If you're like me, I don't like most of my professors, and that's just the way it is. Most of them are not so good at explaining what they want to explain. They take a 10-minute easy and simple topic and they just stretch it out over an hour, and they don't even explain it properly. So I don't want to sit in a lecture hall for 1 hour and a half just to revise everything for another 3 hours afterwards. That is just wasting my time. And I'm a person who values my time, and I cannot let my time go to waste like that. So that is number 3. You just want to save your time by doing the right things. Study in the most efficient way possible, which is past papers and revising and watching YouTube videos that are actually helpful and useful. You can literally search up the concepts that you know you're going to get in the exam and just search it up on YouTube. Go in the search bar and write the concept name for dummies, and just going to explain to you something in 5 minutes that the professors take 3 hours, 5 hours to explain. Like, there could be the most simplest concept and topic, and professors just stretch it out over 5 weeks, and you just spend hours and hours and hours just doing something that you could understand in 10 minutes. It's just about efficiency of time and intention. So number 4, intention. You want to set intentions before you go to study. You don't want to be the guy who sits to study and you have no idea what you want to do. You don't have intentions. You should always have an intention in your mind. You should be like, okay, this is the time where I study for 2 hours, 100% concentration, 100% all in, and then I'm gonna rest later. This is your mindset. Your mindset is not to just get distracted every 15 minutes and then spend another 5 hours doing whatever. No, you put a time, you set a time. You can even go to Google and search timer, and you can put a timer, and it's just gonna remind you when you're finished, so you can take a small break. Or the way I like to do it, I like to raw dog it. I just go 2 hours all in, 3 hours. Sometimes if I need to, I'll study for 4 hours, but that's if I really need to catch up. Otherwise, it's 2 hours, you know? So intention is the most important thing. When you set an intention, it's gonna change the entire energy and vibe behind your work. So before you sit down at your desk, before you go to the library and you go to study, convince yourself in your mind that you are gonna get work done quickly. You're gonna be efficient, you're not gonna get distracted, you're gonna do everything in your power to just make it fast, make it quick. No wasting time, you're just sharp, you're there, you're focused. And that is exactly what you need. Intention is just gonna clear up your thinking process so that when you're there, when you're sitting there and you're studying, you're just gonna be way more efficient. And it does make such a huge difference. As soon as I started setting intentions for studying, for whatever, I just sit down and I'm like, okay, this is the intention I set. Let me just do it. Let me just jump in the cold water. Let me just study. And that's how I only study for 2 hours every single day. And this moves on to point number 5. You want to start as early as possible. 2 hours a day, 1 week before the exam is not enough. 2 hours a day, 2 weeks before the exam is not enough. From the beginning of the semester, or whenever you're starting your courses, go straight for the past papers, for the most important revision material. Don't beat around the bush like the professor does. If university was straight to the point with no bullshit, it would be not a 3-year course, not a 4-year course. You'd be finished in 3 months. I swear to God, you'd be finished in half a year. You would revise everything, you would do everything, learn everything you need to know. But that's just not the case. University takes around 4 years, plus or minus. And that's because everything is just slow. Everything is just from the beginning. Learn 2 hours every single day, and don't just waste your time. Revise the important things. Do past papers if you have them already. And that is how you are going to save your time. So start 2 hours every single day. When I say 2 hours, I don't mean 2 hours 1 week before the exam. I start studying very chill and very not intense at the very beginning of the semester, like 3 months before my exam. And I just get the hours and the hours and the hours without being stressed. When I get closer to the exam, now I don't have to cram 100 things and cram 16 hours of studying every single day just to pass. No, you remove the stress factor because you're giving yourself enough preparation time. And another thing to realize is that spaced repetition is your friend. If you take 2 people, person A and person B, let's say person A spent 50 hours learning something and person B spent also 50 hours learning something, but person B spent those 50 hours in a month. Person A spent those 50 hours in 3 months. Who is gonna have learned more? Yes, you may say person B is more efficient because they did more time and less time, but because of spaced repetition and the way your brain actually remembers things, because ultimately university is just testing your memory. It's honestly like a memory game. How good can you read something and just memorize it and a week later write it down on a piece of paper? That's your grade, basically. That's what the system is. So make use of the system. If you're in college right now, use your time wisely. Don't waste your time studying for way more hours than you actually should. So spaced repetition is key. Start early and go 2 hours every single day. That's when you actually understand what you're learning and you begin to put the pieces where they need to be. Spaced repetition. So you want to start early and then you want to go 2 hours every single day. This is what I've been doing for the past 2 years of college, and I don't like studying. That's the thing. That's why I study 2 hours a day, because I need other time for other things. I want to be a YouTuber, and if I'm spending 16 hours a day studying, locked in my room just studying and studying and studying, where is the time to actually record videos, make videos, plan videos, edit videos? There's just no time. That's why 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day if you need. If you want to study for 8 hours a day, good. You can use these concepts and just make those 8 hours so efficient. So that's it. Those are all the 5 points that I use to study study 2 hours a day and still get good grades. And you might have noticed I didn't say or claim that I'm a straight A student, because number one, in Germany we don't have A's or B's or C's, and number two, because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the average person is not going to be the guy who spends 16 hours a day just getting A stars, A stars, A stars. If you're an average person, you have hobbies, you have sports, you like to do things on the side, you're in communities, you're doing this, you're doing that, you have many things, many hobbies and passions, then all you have to do is just study good enough and just get the grades that you need to get. That's it. So I'll leave you that. That's it for this video. So become the person who could have saved their younger self. You got this, bro.